So my Saints are becoming the Los Angeles Chargers now. so
Head
so
coach from the Chargers, and now you got the
yep,
OC.
we got the DC, the
DC,
defensive
the
court,
DC.
the defensive coordinator. Brandon Staley is the defensive coordinator who was once the head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers, who had Kellen Moore as his offensive coordinator. And
Right.
I think wasn't Doug Nussmeier, who's now the Saints offensive coordinator? I believe he was in San Diego at the time
Oh,
when
damn.
Staley was the head coach. He may have been a quarterback's coach or something like that. So
Wow.
we're becoming the old Los Angeles Chargers. Now, if we ever get oh shoot, I just blinked on his name. Herbert. We get Herbert as our quarterback.
Ah.
I'll be okay with that.
I
Now
don't know
we'll
if
be
he can
talking.
play with Staley and what you call it. That's what his worst years he had since he
Well, he was putting up big numbers. He was
with
just
Staley and Moore, Kellen Moore.
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know if he's putting up big numbers that year, yo.
I
He
think
was
he was.
they was questioning him a little bit.
They was putting up the big numbers. They just couldn't finish seasons to make the playoffs. Or when they got in the playoffs, I remember one playoff game. I forget who they played. They had a big lead and lost the lead to him.
Like the Jaguars. He was a
Was it the
Jag.
Jaguars? Yeah.
Yep.
Staley was the head coach then. And Herbert
Mm.
was putting up big numbers. His numbers aren't that good under Harbaugh, but that's not because, he's
Yeah,
bad.
he put up big numbers that year, but the following year after that, when Staley
Oh,
was
yeah,
there,
he stunk it up.
he stunk it up. I mean, he was terrible. And
Well, that's when Staley
that's the
got fired.
year. And see, that's the year that Kellen Moore was there. Because remember, Kellen Moore was only there for
Oh, that's right. You're right. He wasn't there when they went to the playoffs that
he went
year.
there,
You're right.
he was still in Dallas.
That's right. He's stinking it up with y'all.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say stinking it up because we did have a top three D offense
I
at
knew
that.
you was gonna say that. You
I
you,
mean,
you
yeah, well,
remind me every
the,
time.
the numbers were the numbers. You know what I'm
Um,
saying?
well, I mean, hopefully he's turned over a new leaf. When he was in Philly, they say they had to have a players coach meeting and convince him, man, you got the best running back in the league. Run the ball. And Kellen Moore finally switched to running the ball more.
Yeah, I mean he had that problem in Dallas. He had
He
that, but he's
did.
very pass happy.
Yep.
And when you got these quarterback offensive coordinators, that tends to happen a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It tends to happen a lot. They just get away from the run. And then we had him and McCarthy, who McCarthy had that issue in Green Bay.
That's true. That's true.
You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? That they wouldn't run the ball.
Yep.
Uh, so hey, hopefully he came a new leaf. He learned some things. That's the one good thing is he got a chance to learn from a championship organization.
Right.
Philly is just a good organization. I might not like them because they my competitors in my division, but I got to give it up to them as far as organization.
I got to give it up to them too because they
They go
constantly stealing players and draft picks from the Saints.
they recycle players in and through and still keep winning. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? You just keep winning, keep doing it. You know, they make Carson Wentz gets hurt after his MVP season start off, and Mick Foles comes in, still win the Super Bowl.
Yep.
I mean, that's an accomplishment in itself. You won the Super Bowl with Mick Foles, who has been trash each and every other place he's ever been.
Right.
I mean, he not even been serviceable anywhere. But you win one with him, then you go win one with Jalen Hurts, you go with another one, and you think you gave up Andy Reid, and you thinking, okay, well that's a mistake. Andy Reid that went on and won Super Bowls, which they won
Mm-hmm.
Super Bowls too. They
Right.
won
Right.
Super
Right.
Bowls
Right.
too. So
And they
they
beat
got
Andy Reid in the Super Bowl.
and you just beat Andy Reid in the Super Bowl. Dominated them, like crushed them.
Yep.
I mean, one of the most dominant Super Bowls that we had in a long time.
Yep. Yep.
You know?
I did never seen that coming. I thought
I
Andy
didn't see
Reid was
that
just
coming at all.
dominating, like this was a
And
bad move by the Eagles to let Andy Reid go. And now it's coming back. It seems to be a good move now because Andy Reid is getting old.
right, and in that game, the Chiefs shut down Saquon Barkley.
They sure
He
did.
got absolutely shut down.
Yep.
He still got dominated. I mean, yeah, that's the worst I've seen probably Patrick Mahomes ever play. I can't remember seeing him have a game that bad, like that bad, where he just didn't
Yep.
have a clue. He couldn't get over the hump.
He had no answer.
Yeah, but that's once again, I'm gonna give credit to the Philly organization for building that defense up the way it was. You know what I'm saying? They're always aggressive in the offseason. They make good picks in the draft. Uh, I just hate that. I hate that we're in that division. That they are a division rival right
But
now.
but I don't think it's just making good picks in a draft. Like, I mean, because they traded back against the Saints and got a top 10 draft pick the following year. The Saints traded up in I forget which draft that was, which I thought was the dumbest thing they could have done. I think it was
First
2021.
round, first round pick.
Yeah, they traded up to get I can't remember who it was, and ended up giving Philly a first round draft pick the following year.
Mm.
And the Saints had a bad season. And that first round draft pick became a top 10 pick.
Wow.
And that became, is it Jalen Carter?
Jaden
That's
Carr. Okay.
that's how they got
Okay.
Jalen Carter. Top
Wow.
10 defensive lineman from Georgia. Yes, it was because we gave up, we traded up in the draft, allowed that pick to go there, and we stunk it up and gave
And
them a
who did
top
you
10
get with
pick.
that? Who did you get with that draft pick?
I don't remember who it was. It could have been Peyton Turner or somebody like that.
Mm.
I don't think that I don't the player. I mean, whoever it was, I think they played for us, but they didn't make much of an impact. I'll have to look it up. I don't remember who it was, but it wasn't anybody that made a huge impact to the team.
Right. Hmm.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's just a sign of good management by the Eagles. Picking up free agents. Uh, they trade they traded with us to get Garner Johnson. Garner Johnson was a Saint. Um, yeah, Zach Bourne was a Saint, a linebacker that we had on special teams.
Mm.
Just like, dude, what are we doing? And and they solidified their quarterback with Jalen Hurts. I mean, and accepted who he was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about when everybody talk about the top five quarterbacks in the league, they don't usually mention
Mm-mm,
Jalen Hurts.
it sure
They
don't.
don't that he's been to two Super Bowls in the last 3 years.
Yep.
Won one.
And
So
remember when he became the starter, you and I talked about this. His deep ball was trash.
yeah,
His deep ball was awful. And that kid worked and worked, and he can hit just about every throw. So yeah, kudos to the Eagles. Yeah, nothing bad to say about them. I think they've made all the right moves. You know,
yeah.
did the obvious moves. It wasn't that hard. I mean, how
No, it
hard
was
is
stuff
it?
it kind of fell into their lap, but don't get me wrong, they still made the move. But
But
dang,
but Dale, how hard is it to sign Saquon Barkley when everybody else was saying, "Ooh, I don't want to overpay for him"? What? That's
right.
Saquon
You got
Barkley.
you got him for 13 million a year,
Yeah,
which is criminal.
the
That's
Giants didn't
crazy.
want to pay that.
It's crazy.
The
That's
Cowboys didn't want to bring him in.
so dumb. Well, Cowboys just retarded because
That
you didn't bring in Henry, and Henry wanted to play for you.
he wanted to play for you.
He
These aren't
wanted to
hard
play for you.
moves. That's my point. That's not hard.
Yeah, yeah,
That's not hard to do. That's what I don't understand. I find that a lot of these teams and franchises try to think they're smarter than everybody else. They try to outsmart
yeah.
everybody else, and they outsmart themselves.
Yep, yep. Because anybody from last year could have saw that Saquon still had something in the tank.
Yes.
Still had something in the tank. If he was taking, I mean, you could have paid him what you paid Zeke 3 years ago, 15 mil, and he would have took it and
Right.
been happy. You know what I'm saying? You could have gave him what you get, same contract you gave Zeke 3 years ago. Zeke, 3 years ago. You could have gave him
Mm-hmm.
that same contract, and he would have been happy right now.
He would have been happy.
You know what I'm saying? But uh what can I say? Philly is going to be around for a while. That organization is going to be there. That's the thing, is that it's a good organization.
Right.
So that means that they showed they can churn coaches, they can churn players, and still get the same result. So
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's just like they're just doing simple picks, simple moves, obvious moves.
Yeah, stay aggressive.
Stay aggressive.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to trade up to get some. I'm trying to figure out who that was the Saints drafted in 2002 with that first round pick. But I can tell you what, it wasn't that great.
If
But
you don't
I mean,
remember who it was, it probably wasn't like
I
that.
want to say it was
Especially
Peyton Turner, but I don't know if it was him.
what does he play?
He plays defensive end. Exactly.
Okay.
You don't even know who he was,
Right.
who
I
he
haven't
is.
heard that name.
Yeah, he stays injured. Oh no! I take that back. It was Chris Olave.
Oh, it's Chris Olave.
It
Okay.
was worth it. It was worth it. It was Chris Olave.
Mhm.
Um, I think. Wait, the Saints wide receiver Chris Olave 11th pick and would. Oh, maybe. Oh, it was either Trevor Penning. I think it was Trevor Penning. I think it was Trevor Penning. Either case, the Saints traded that pick that turned into Jalen Carter. Now Trevor Penning has been a problem, and I
Mm.
think so
What does he play?
he plays left tackle,
Mm. Mm.
and he's been struggling. He was in struggling. His first year he was a struggle. He didn't play much. He was bad, and they finally played him through this year and let him find his way through it. So, but the point is that the Eagles have been making smart moves. I wouldn't even say smart, simple moves, obvious moves. Sign Saquon Barkley. How hard is that? You know, build your offense around this dynamic player in Jalen Hurts. You know, sign AJ Brown from the Tennessee Titans, who's played in the AFC Championship game and had oh crying out loud, who's the quarterback in Tennessee?
Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill.
Tannehill had Tannehill as his quarterback, and he was had 1,000 yards receiving.
Yep.
Yeah, not that hard to do,
Yeah, and then
but
that white cornerback that he got, the one to pick six. What you call it? That's a draft pick. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, don't
Their scouting team is just good. Like they're going to get players who are available. Whoever it is, they kicking the tires on them and see who it is. I mean,
don't sleep on that dude. They showed highlights of him on his basketball team.
oh yeah, he's highly athletic. He's very very athletic, man.
Very athletic.
Yeah, yeah, very very
Don't
athletic.
sleep.
Yeah, and he's a rookie. They're gonna have him for a long time. Oh my god,
And the first 4 years are going to be a cheap rookie deal. So yeah, the Eagles are set for another 3-4 years.
easy,
Yeah,
easy. You got Saquon locked up. You got AJ Brown locked up. You got Smith
Jalen
locked up.
Hurts.
Harris locked up. I mean, you got your defense locked up. Carter locked up. I mean, jeez. Yeah.
Yeah, and y'all got to deal with them twice a year.
Yep. Unfortunately.
I
Unfortunately.
don't know how it's going to be with you guys with Brian Schottenheimer as head coach.
Yeah. Well, if I hear damn uh Jerry Jones call him Shotty one more time,
Shot.
right? I have to go check. He called Shotty. Go yeah, yeah, Shotty's gonna call the plays and Shotty gonna do. Stop calling him Shotty.
Who
Okay.
calls him Shotty?
They call that's what they all call him now, Shotty, because that's what they used to call Marty Schottenheimer.
They used
They
to
used to
call
call
Martin Schottenheimer Shotty?
that was his little nickname, Shotty. He was
I
going,
never knew that.
yeah.
Never. I thought they called him
So now they're trying
Marty.
to call him. So now they're trying to call him Shotty.
Mm,
And he's not Shotty. He ain't earned no nickname yet. He ain't did none of
yeah.
that. You know,
Yeah.
you had your years with Seattle when Russ was actually cooking there.
Yeah.
But other than that, you ain't really showed you could do nothing, especially as a head coach. So
Right.
I give him this. He had a good talking what's that press conference. His
Mm-hmm.
press conference when he came in, it sounded great. It sounded so good. Yeah, we're gonna get back to running the ball and playing good defense. Oh, okay. All right. I believe it when I see it because the last few Cowboys coaches could not get that through. I mean, Jason Garrett was there to an extent. Jason Garrett did to an extent. He
Yeah,
did.
yeah, with Zeke.
Yeah, he had a couple, and even back with DeMarco Murray.
Oh, that's right. I forgot
Yeah,
about that.
he had another. That's another time we led the league in rushing. You know what I'm saying? So he had his moments where he will run the ball, but he would just get away from it at the most inopportune times. But him saying that sounded so good, but I'm like, but we ain't got a running back though.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Who's gonna run it for you?
No, we ain't doing that with Rico. Rico's okay. He's serviceable. He's a good backup, but he's not a feature back. That's not who you can go in there. For some reason, Dallas has decided they're not going to commit to running backs and safeties. I don't understand why, but when we went and picked up Zeke, it was almost like a no-brainer, okay? Because I think it was either between him and Jalen Ramsey, right?
Mm.
And that's the first time since Emmitt Smith that we picked a running back in the first round. You know what I'm saying? Since late 80s, late 80s, early 90s. First time since Emmitt Smith.
That's
We
crazy.
picked a running back in the first round.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. And then we don't have it with the first quarterback we picked in the first round, Troy Aikman.
Mm.
You know
Y'all
what I'm
hadn't
saying?
taken a quarterback in the first round since Troy Aikman?
Not since 80, what was that, 89, 88?
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
have
I
not
mean,
taken a first round quarterback, yo. That's which is crazy.
well, I
That's
mean
nuts.
that
I think we took Quincy Carter in the second round.
I think he was a second round.
I think he was a second round pick, but that's the last time we spent the quote unquote early pick on a quarterback.
Well,
You know,
I mean, tell that to somebody that's impressed. I mean, the Saints haven't taken a quarterback in the first round since 71.
good lord,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Last quarterback we took in the first round was Archie
Archie
Manning.
man, wow, wow,
Had drafted a quarterback in the first round since Archie Manning.
wow.
And
Yeah,
yes,
I might
that's
have a chance to
insane.
get him next year. The
Mike,
grandson of
the
Archie,
grandson, yeah, Arch Manning, which is
yeah,
a weird name, but
yeah.
Arch Manning, yeah, we might be because we're gonna be bad. We're gonna be bad. Um,
I
I
might.
mean,
If y'all got a chance, I might trade up to go get him.
I
Just for
I think
nostalgia.
speaking of tanking, I think we should just tank. Just if you want to roll, you know, um, I can't even remember his name right now. The quarterback we got from South Carolina.
Ritter,
Yeah,
not Ritter.
Spencer
Spencer
Rattler.
Rattler.
Roll
Spencer.
him out there and let him stink it up. Let me do this 0-7. I mean, and everybody's talking about promising, young. I'm like, he was awful.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
0-7. So it's gonna be pretty bad. And I think it's worth going through it. Let Kellen Moore get us through this season where we're over the cap. Let's just get through it. Try to compete.
Oh
If
yeah,
we
y'all have a
lose,
good amount over the cap, right?
oh yeah, like 50, 60 million. Yeah, it's ridiculous number. So we got to cut players. Cut Derek Carr, count your losses. Cut
Cut,
Taysom Hill, count your
cut you.
losses. Cut Cam Jordan, count your losses,
Mm,
and ride this season out because you're gonna have a bunch of dead cap money. You can't resign, you can't sign any free agents to help us out.
yep.
Trade back in the draft, get as many draft picks as you can. Hopefully, you get lucky with some second and third rounders, and just
Mhm.
ride this season out and shoot for the following season. And hopefully, Arch Manning is willing to come play for us.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
That's pretty much it. That's
I,
pretty much
I
it.
I hate to be doom and gloom, but look, that's the reality of it. I mean, we could be in a purgatory. Like you cannot win in today's NFL without a star quarterback. You just can't. This is
Mhm.
not the 1980s. You
Right.
cannot compete with just a great defense. Can't happen. This ain't the Chicago Bears. We not the Baltimore Ravens out there with Tony Banks. You know,
Right. Right.
the defense carrying our defense literally quit. They quit. They could not carry this team anymore.
Mm,
So
yeah.
go out there with Spencer. I'm not hopeful that it's gonna play out well. I wish the kid luck, but I watched those 7 games. I was not impressed.
Yeah.
So hey, go out there, try. If it doesn't work out, get that top draft pick and do what you can. Get Arch, get whoever else is available. Let's not take no chances with those second, third round pick and some project that we're gonna try to make into a star.
Right. Get somebody who has that upside. This, you know what I'm saying?
Right. That you got high expectations, and that's not outsmart ourselves like the Bears did with Mitch Trubisky or the Giants did with Daniel Jones. You see Patrick Mahomes there, you see Deshaun Watson there. You draft them. Yep. Don't try to outsmart yourself.
Games, pick them up.
Pick them up. Let's not overthink this. And Mitch Trubisky had a great season at North Carolina or whatever the hell he played, or Daniel Jones at Duke. Scrap that. Let's not be silly here.
Right.
It's real simple. Get the great talent that's there. You see Lamar Jackson there. You take Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
I can't believe we passed on. I still blame Sean Payton for that. Lamar Jackson was sitting right there for us. The dude went 31st in the draft. Ridiculous.
Yeah. And they had to try. I think they traded back up into the first round to get him.
To get him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, he refused to run the 40 because teams were talking about making him a receiver.
Yep. It sure was.
Yep. The Ravens promised to make him a quarterback, and so he went to the Ravens, which turned out, as you can see, well. So, all right. You ready to wrap this thing up?
Yes, indeed, man.
All right. Thanks for joining us again. We do this thing every week. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
Holla.